If you set your mind to anything, you can do it. My name is Alby. I'm adventurous, fun, and creative. Videographer, producer, and CEO, if you may like. And I'm a millennial on the move. Who is Alby? 3 words. Oh, okay, I'd say spontaneous, creative, and adventurous. Spontaneous, like I can do anything at any specific time. Like ideas can just pop up in my mind and I wouldn't wait too long, I'd strike on them. So if I get an idea right now, by tomorrow I'd be working on it. Business-wise, life-wise, it's a good thing. Creativity is something I believe I do have, because there's just different approaches of different things, like even content creation, like there's this creative sides that I bring up to it. I am very adventurous. This is why people don't think I'm Kenyan, because they think I have the Mzungu blood in me. I just love being out there and doing new things and tasting new vibes and just having a different kind of perspective to life. So I'm a content creator, videographer, producer, and also a strategic special drone pilot. Okay, that's it's like a passion. So I started actually not using the drone, but ever since I was like 13 in high school. I used to like watch drone videos, you know, the football matches and everything, and I used to wonder like how do these guys capture the air shots? So that's where the passion started. After I got my first drone, and if took video games, I ended up learning how to use it and how to maneuver the drone into weird places. High school itself was an experience, because I went to like 6 high schools. Yeah, I reached Form 2, 844, then it got to a point I was like, I can't do this. It's too much stress. So I switched. I went to the American system, then the British system, and I finished with the British system. So that transition ended up creating 6 different high schools. So it was a social experience, because every high school I went to, I left a mark. And until today, I have friends from all those high schools. I'm 22 years old, and for anyone asking me, I'm Kenyan, because that's one question that many people always ask me. I don't look Kenyan, but I am Kamba and Kikuyu and Kenyan. 22 years of age, and the school that really changed my life is USIU. I always wanted to become a doctor. I just loved biology, and I loved you see, one thing, it's also interconnected. I like saving lives, touching lives, so yeah, that's why I wanted to be a doctor. I like watching a lot of movies, because other than just watching the movie, it gives me ideas. Like videography, visual based. I'm very visual based, so when I watch something, I find an idea that we can bring into the Kenyan market. I speak 2 fluent languages. The other ones are just partly here and there, sketchy. Wasiata, Mono Wasiata. That is one. The other one is Ahlan, Arabic obviously, and Kikuyu. But no, you see, the Kikuyu that I was taught was not greetings; it was chasing people away. I was born in what do you call this place? Coptic Hospital, Isli side Zuko. I was brought up in those areas, Pangani, Isli. Then we moved to these areas of Hurlingham when I was like 6. So growing up, I've been very social. Like I was the kind of child who would talk to anyone, who would take sweets from anyone and disturb everyone. So as I grew up, my dad has been a very crucial part of my development. So he taught me just the skills, like talking skills, confidence when you're in front of people, all that. And he's a big fan of my videography work and even the content. Like if I post content, he's the first person to like it and share it out. Umetoka jikoni saa ngapi?
Jikoni?
Kwa nini?
Jumanzia umeiva.
I have many areas of content creation, but what has been currently trending is street challenges, where I drive up to someone, nashukisha kio, and then I go like mambo, so I'd either sing ama nakutolea pickup line. So that is what has been trending at the moment, but other than that, I host a number of shows on YouTube, uni shows and everything. And content-wise, I'm not the only one who's always the subject, so like I make content for a whole team of content creators.
Mambo, naona nimepoteza namba yangu, unaweza pata yako?
The TikTok videos you're probably watching right now, how it came about and how it has changed lives, we're going to go on a break. And when we come back, I'll let you know how. You see, I'm honest, we didn't lie, we're back. So my biggest highlight so far, let's talk about the TikTok videos. So these videos particularly, as they make people smile out there, I feel like it's playing, you know, killing like 6 birds with 1 stone. Because I'm touching lives. The people who I'm doing the video with, who are always out there on the streets hustling it out, they always get promoted, and some of them actually get uplifted in their livelihoods. So that is changing their lives, and they smile to the content, and you also smile to the content. So all around, I feel like everyone is smiling. Other than that, the videography. Videography is also a huge highlight. I've released 2 music videos so far, and being my first music videos in an industry that is very competitive, I got like wild response. Like people actually loved my work. So that feels amazing to actually be appreciated for something you put so much passion and time into.
Umetoka jikoni saa ngapi?
Jikoni? Kwa nini?
Jumanze umeiva.
Every time tunakwanga traffic, you find that there's these people, the hawkers, the street hawkers, they're always selling things, either njugu, peanuts, or just something, car accessories and all. Alafu, I always used to say hi to these guys because I used to notice, like, you know, they just have that marketing face. When he comes next to your car holding his products, he's smiling. So one thing I noticed is not many people interact with these guys, actually Kenyans. I don't know why, but when they come close to the car, most people would pull up the windows. So this just started randomly. I always used to say hi to them. Then one day I was sitting in the car with my friend, and he was like, why don't you ask them a funny question? And the first question I asked them was, where did Mira come from? That was the first video that took the whole concept into the light. And then after that, it became a habit. Every time I meet one, I start singing to them, then I promote them. If I get a funny reaction, I promote them vizuri. If I get a mild reaction, just 1 or 2 items I get from them. So at the same time, it's promoting them and making them smile. So it's just like building a sort of harmony with these people who are on the road every single day, working hard. So I started posting these videos, and then I started getting a big number of people coming in, like attacking me for not promoting them. But one thing people don't know is, you see, a video that trends on TikTok is mostly 8 to 10 seconds. So if I add in all the parts of negotiating, promoting, getting the item, the video would go to 30 seconds, which wouldn't trend. So what I usually do is cut off the part where I've bought the item, because it's not part of the concept of the fun. Videography has been a part of me. I used to love football, and I used to play a lot of football. So back then when I was young, I used to try and recreate what the guys abroad are doing with the football videos, like making fancy football videos. So that's where the videography passion started. Then I went to university, USIU, journalism. So the part of the journalist in me was a videographer. So I used to stay in the labs and learn how to use the softwares and everything. Then I took it home, sasa. Got my first camera, got my editing setup, editing suit. The more you practice, the more you try different things. That's how I grew the skill and art. I'm working on launching a tourism company. So I have like many things going on. But at the same time, they're all interconnected into one passion, which is exploring Kenya, talking to Kenyans, and just portraying Kenya as it is, like out there. Because most of the time, when you go abroad, people hear of Kenya, other than marathon runners, they don't really have a good image of Kenya. These days, passion pays. So if you have a passion for something, then it's a skill and art. These days, skill and art is service. So if your parent is going to support you, you're obviously going to put in more motivation and more drive towards what you're doing. And if you have your parents' support, there's literally nothing you can't do. So parents, please just support them. Just even if it's anything that looks funny to you, it's the current world, it's funny. Launching my first company, Freakafold. Freakafold is a name that we used to have, in USIU basically. I used to stay on campus, so I used to have my squad of friends. We used to be around 5, and every night at around 10 to 12 a.m., like in the night, 10 p.m. to 12 a.m., we'd sit and just discuss what we'd like in life, like those sessions. So I remember one time we were discussing and a name Freakafold came up, and the 5 of us decided that whoever is very ambitious would use that name to come up with a company. So the rest of the guys, as you know, USIE international students, most of them are not even in Kenya. So I was left here, and I started building upon Freakafold, the company, which is split into 2 right now. It is videography and productions, and the tours and travels. Why tourism? I want to show the tourists that Kenya is somewhere fun and like just a different side of tourism, because when tourists mostly come, it's mostly like serious events. Somehow when they come for vacation, they come with their families and all. And also wildlife videography tourism, if that makes sense. So I want to bring in tourists to do wildlife in a very comfortable setup. Wildlife documentaries. Speaking of which, I had my first wildlife documentary, which will air out. I won't say the channel, but it's an international channel. When I was doing my wildlife documentary, shooting it, I noticed one thing. When we are in that setup, most of the people holding the cameras and directing what to do are not from Kenya. And we have all the animals right here, like literally we're walking past them. So it hits me that why isn't it that we Kenyans can't actually produce and sell our own wildlife documentaries? And that's the approach that took me into tourism, first of all, because as I was now doing the videography for wildlife, I developed that passion of actually bringing in tourists to create a safe and just comfortable vibe of a scene where we can all do wildlife documentaries together. Business-wise, the biggest mistake I've made so far is being exploited. I think every youth out here can testify to the exploitation in Kenya, but yes, we do not work if you're not getting paid. I've worked and done a lot of work where I've not been paid. At the end of the day, I'm given, exposure, which is good payment sometimes, but it is still, I feel like there's a lot I would have been paid for back in the past, looking at it right now, and it's still painful, very painful. But yes, don't work if you're not getting paid. The second one, life. Boys, this one is for you. Stop playing with women's hearts. It's not good. Trust me, it's not good. So basically, just settle and focus your mind on what you want to do, because at the end of the day, I feel like there's just a lot of distractions, and if you start going into those distractions, they can ruin you. And once you're ruined, you start getting old and wondering what went wrong. So those are things I learned from a young age, so I didn't break many hearts, just one or two each. How I remain on par with content creation is interactions. I mean, the content is going to you. So if I want to make you smile, I'd ask you what you like watching and what you like doing or seeing. So when you tell me what you like seeing and watching, then I would use that to create an angle from it, and that's where my content comes from. Patience. My dad has taught me about patience. Oh, and one thing that I remember till today, from when I was like 3 years old until today, one line my dad has always told me is, attitude is everything. So in life, your attitude and mindset towards anything will portray the final outcome. If you put your mind to it, you can achieve it. That's one thing I believe in, and I go to sleep thinking of that and wake up thinking of that. My dreams before 30 is I want to have established an empire, like literally business empire, and then I want to have touched many lives before 30. And also at the end of the day, I also want my name to ring around Kenya to the point where, as you're walking, you just, at the back of your mind, you know that there's an Alby out there who will be driving to you and making you smile. Where we go wrong as millennials is number one, patience. We don't have patience. So usually as millennials, we want things done or we want results immediately. Sometimes results take 5, 6, 7 years to actually come in front of you. So perseverance and patience, that's one thing we really fail in. And that's one thing we should work on, because the more you're patient, the more you'll keep on working for what you want. As I said, if you put your mind to it, you will get it. So advice to content creators, especially in Kenya. Content creation is a visual thing. So unless you're doing podcasts, if you're on YouTube, it's visual based. So I'm not saying you have to have the best equipment. I mean, you can use your phone, but at least go onto YouTube before you post and just learn how to, put a few graphics here and there, put something that will hook the viewer on the video. Because other than the because sometimes the content is actually funny, great, but the visuals make the viewer lose interest kidogo. So that's one thing, content creators, be vigilant, at least color grade kidogo, or just, just put something, make the screen look nice. Yeah, I have a bunch of mentors. People like XT Andela, Eric Omondi. These are content creators who go out of their way to do the extraordinary. And other than doing the extraordinary, their videography is amazing. And Peter McKinnon from abroad, he's helped me a lot in my journey towards video editing and everything. Social handles, m.alby anywhere. Just m.alby, A-L-B-Y. As long as you type that, you will see someone smiling. Freakafold, okay, it's going to be launched by hopefully in the next coming month. So if you type that up, you will see all the websites, and the tourism is coming up, tours and safaris. For now, the videography is already in play. So if you need your videos done, produced, and you need your drone shots, I will be there for you. These days, content creation is big. I mean, anyone out there, even politicians, during your free time, you're probably watching some sort of content. So at the end of the day, we're also entertaining you. And I feel like in Kenya, it's a bit, just of recent years, it's when we've been softer towards content creators and actually realizing that it's a really good career. One of the things that's a challenge for me legally is the airspace. I'm a drone pilot, so I get a lot of restrictions when it comes to flying the drone and just making content. Yes, we do understand that there's security challenges and all, but if we don't go to the designated security, the zones where need a lot of security, but there's just some areas you just want to make some sort of content. You're not really flying the drone into space, but you just want an overhead shot, and it's a huge process before I can get those 5-second shots. So that would be really encouraging to people like us just to, soften up the regulations.